Yes.
So Isaac, thank you for coming, but thank you for not wearing your traditional dress. Why have you not wearing it? I'm seriously, and here I am wearing the traditional dress from Ghana, which you have so nicely sent to me.
Thank you. Finally, I'm here. I'm here with Vikram, conversation with the beautiful mind. Thank you for having me. And I'm glad you are wearing what I sent you. I'm supposed to wear my mine was dirty, so I've taken it to the laundry. So hopefully,
That's not an excuse. That imagine that if you are not going to promote your culture and traditions, it's all finished. All of us will just wear t-shirts. That's all.
yes, yes. Actually, when it comes to my ethnic group, the culture that I'm from, I'm supposed to put on a cloth. Have you the cloth? Yes, I'm supposed to put on that kind of traditional dress if I want to indeed wear a traditional dress. This is one of the cultures within the country. They are dresses, especially in the northern part of the country. So the one you are wearing is from the northern part. Yes.
Well, it's a particular what? A particular tribe or some group?
Yes, the particular ethnic group, yes. Especially it is more like all the people at the northern part of Ghana. We have 5 regions at the northern part.
Hmm.
We have 16 regions in the country. 5 is at the northern part of Ghana. And all those people, they most of their traditional dresses are like this. But
Basically,
we
what?
have the one with short hand. This one is like a little bit longer.
Mhm.
There's one with short. The one that I always wear, and the hand is short. Yes, and this is a little bit longer. Yes.
And
So
then
they are different.
what do you wear under that?
Different.
I mean, you just wear that, or
You
is there
just
some?
wear it. Yes. Just put it on like just like that. Yes. You can also wear in other ethnic groups. They can wear um, a bottom shirt under it and put on tie and wear it on top as a jacket.
Yeah,
As
not bad.
yes, that can also be done.
Not bad at all. So, but I think
Yes.
what we need to do, Isaac, is why don't you tell us about yourself? That I think should be the starting point.
Okay. So, what do you want to know about me?
Whatever you want to tell us, whatever, totally up to you. Totally up to you.
I thought you were going to be the person to ask me questions, then I'll be answering. So,
That's that.
sometimes it's difficult when you ask me to tell me about myself. Why I'm like, where do I start from? Is it from when I was born, primary school, JSS, university, up to this time? Where do you want me to start from?
Anything, if whatever comes to your mind, we have time. You know, with me, you always have time, so that's not an issue. So,
Yeah. Okay. Isaac is a person born in one of the villages in central region of Ghana. So I was born around 1990 in central region. I'm not from central region, but that is where I was born. My parents are from the Ashanti part of Ghana. So that is where I was born in the central region. I started schooling there up to SS in age 19. And then I moved to Accra, Ghana, where I'm currently staying. So I did all my primary school up to JSS, up to SS. The place I started school is called Mimpasem DA School. Then I came to Emradan DA School and JSS. I continued from P4 from Emradan. Then I completed the JSS there. Interestingly, when I got to I think Form 2, my father said I was too smallish at that time. Even if you look at my size now, so he will not allow me to go to Form 3. So I should wait 1 year at the Form 2. Then by the time I get to Form 3, I'll be a little bit mature. So I said, okay. It was a difficult moment for me looking at my friends going and staying back, but I will say that it was helpful. I got to understand most of the thing being taught again. So because of that, when the Form 3s completed their school, their term and went away, I was chosen as the school prefect at the JSS. So JSS, I became a school prefect. Um, so I completed too. Then I joined Dunkwa Secondary Technical School. That was actually not the school I chose during selection process when I was completing JSS. I chose, I think, Datus International School, which is in Accra and Tema. I didn't know where the school was, and it was even our time that they started what we call computer placing system in the country, so that they can mix everybody. The less privileged people can also get to go to the better schools within the country. So they mix everybody. And fortunately or unfortunately, I got that to International School in Accra. They went to do inquiries and all that. By that time, finances wouldn't allow my parents to be able to bring me there. So my father has to go and look for a local school within Dunkwa called Dunkwa Secondary Technical School, where I was lucky to be admitted to undertake a business program at the SHS level. Then I did business. God grace, I completed, but I failed mathematics woefully. I failed mathematics, and I had to write. But interestingly, when I was preparing myself whether to write or what to do with my life, we're working with a JSS teacher who has now opened a printing press and was teaching us how it is done, how to type, how to do a lot of things on the computer. So we're learning it, and I think my father introduced me to one of our church elders who works at the GES, and he said, oh, they are picking people to teach, people who have completed essays. Normally they send them to those villages to go and teach as people teachers. So that if I pass the interview, they can post me as a people teacher, start live from there. If I'm able to save something, then I can continue from there with my own life. So that is where life began. I went for the interview. After the interview, I was called that yes, I've passed the interview. So I was waiting for my appointment letter from Accra. And one day I had a senior brother who is in Accra, called, even so before the letter will come, he has called that I should come to Accra. When I'm coming, I shouldn't pick anything, just one or two things that I wear, just come. When I came, he said, oh, he doesn't want me to go back again. So even my certificate and other thing, I have to call my friend to send it by a car to bring them to me in Accra. So that is how life started in Accra. So I go to Accra, my brother put me to the house, and that is how life began in Accra. He is a businessman, a trader. And so I started following him to the shop to sell one or two things. So one day I was watching a TV and I saw a school advertising at the tax bar of the TV screen. I said, oh, this is a school I own. I'm interested in their programs. So I informed my brother. He said, okay, if you are interested, do the inquiries and let's see. So I went to town, and in the afternoon I went there to pick a form. I picked a form, and I feel submitted. They called me for an interview. I went for it. They said they have picked me, but the only thing is that I have to write the mathematics that I have failed. If not, by the time the term ends, they will expel me from the school. So I have to write the mathematics then before I can go to level 200. So first year, I wrote the mathematics. Unfortunately, I failed again. I informed them. They said, okay, that is fine, but you can still write. But we have given you the opportunity to write whilst you are studying. So I said, okay. Second year, I wrote again and I failed again. Then third year, I said, no, I will still write again. I wrote again. And fortunately for me, at that time, I met a certain man who is dead now. He's deceased. May his soul rest in peace, who was able to teach me one or two things which helped me. And I passed finally. So after 3 attempts, after the SHS, I passed my exams and I submitted it to the school. So still I was continuing with, so I was combining this plus academic work. It wasn't easy, but I managed to do it. So I continued from there up till I completed school. So when I was about to complete the university, every year during the long vacation, we were supposed to go for attachment. But since I was selling with my brother at the market, I was not able to do most of the attachments. So getting to the final year, um, I took a letter, submitted it. We met through the selling. We met a guy who is now a doctor. He used to buy from us. So he said, "Oh, I know somebody at the judicial service. These are the process." So they explained how I can get an attachment there. So I submitted my letter there one day, and I was called. They interviewed me and said, "Okay." So when they saw my program was management with computing. I majored in marketing. So they thought it was an ICT program. It was really a management program. But one interesting thing about Regent University is that when you are schooling, any course that you are doing, they add ICT to it. So when anybody meets you and you mention the program, they may think it's an IT program, but it's not an IT program, although you are being taught IT together with that particular program. So they posted me to the ICT workshop at the Judicial Service of Ghana. So I was working there, and one day, one afternoon, a call came from the office of the National ADR coordinator that he needed some people to assist him to work on a PowerPoint project. And I think I asked one of the guys to escort me to the place because I know how it's done, because based on my program, it's part of the program, so I've been taught so I can assist the man. I went there and I started teaching him. He said, "Okay, the next morning I should come for it so that I can do the presentation for him." I went to do the presentation for him. He said, "Oh, so you came back." Some of the people, when you ask them to come back, they don't come back. I said, "Oh, you've asked me to do something. There is no way I will say I won't come back." So I went back to do it. And after that, he looked at me and said, "Okay, can you do this?" I said, "Yes, I can give it a try. Go go and pick a form. Let's start something together, or let's work out something." So he said he has certain project that he want to work on it. I said, "Okay." And that is how I met my boss that I'm working with now. So we started working together, and we he put up an institute and put it into my hand to manage with his supervision, and that is where we are up to. The institute is called Institute of Legal Training Leadership Studies. That is where I work with. Now I started as the programs coordinator. I'm now the director of programs. So through the institutes, I was given in-service training, because that is the training that we were giving people, training them to become ADR practitioners. So I was given in-service training so that I will understand and also be able to practice as an ADR practitioner. So I took advantage and learned and started doing. We registered an NGO called Center for Citizens Empowerment, which we use to resolve dispute for people for free. And that is actually where I started mediating, because most of the time when the case come, I'm the one available at the center. When I confer with the people and they're okay with me serving as their mediator, if they are not people, there are instances where people look at you and said, "This small boy, how can he assist us? This short boy, the size, or the person is too young, he will not be able to assist us." So I started doing mediation at the center, and gradually I was able to resolve some cases. Initially, I started co-mediating with one retired judge. She would sit beside me to do the mediation. And gradually, I mastered the crafts and I was able to help people. Then we also have an association that the people, as I said, I'm wearing the shirt. We train the people, and we don't let them just go and be doing anything that they want. We bring them together so that from time to time we can meet them, enhance their capacity on how the practice is done, the trends that are happening, so that they will be better off and out there and to serve the public well. So that is what we've been doing so far, and that is what I've gotten myself into. And gradually, we've been able to register the association, satisfy all requirements, and it has become a full professional body. And it is something that I'm happy of. That now, if you are talking about a recognized ADR professional body, our association is one of them in the country, which is called Ghana National Association of ADR Practitioners in Ghana. And this is something that I'm happy of, that I've been part of this journey. And yes, I'm happy to be, and I'm proud of it. Yes. So basically, this is about me.
Look,
If
I'll
you
tell
want
you,
to, if
Isaac.
you want to know, if you want to know about my family life, I'm the fifth born of nine. I'm the fifth born of nine. My parents are still alive. All of us are still alive. I am still single. Yes.
Okay, so
So
that's
basically,
what you want to. Everything is down to that now. But you do realize that you made that world record now. This is the longest answer to a question that I have ever had. So
you said you wanted to know about me, so all the things about me you've known now.
now only thing is,
So this
look,
is nice.
now I think Abe has come in. Let's get him in. I've love to tell him. I think that normally he must have seen that this is live, so he's joined. Let's just say hi to him. Then
Okay.
we'll tell him that this is not
Okay.
that kind of a
Okay.
conversation. Let's see.
Right.
But that's hi Abe.
How are you? How are you, Isaac?
Hello, I'm good. You?
Good. How are you?
What happened, Abe, right now is that Isaac has given the longest answer that you can ever get. All I asked him was, tell me about yourself, Isaac. And it's been 15 minutes and now he's finished telling us about himself. And at the end of it, what is it? I'm single. That's what he wanted to tell us.
Oh, good evening, Isaac. Don't ask him another question.
Now he knows everything about me, so I don't know what you asked again.
Yeah, he's made sure that I will tell him everything that he can ever ask me. Now, okay, but one thing that you haven't answered, Isaac, is that first of all, from the village to Accra, what is
Yes.
the, according to you, in terms of the cultural differences, societal differences, what do you feel?
When it comes to when it comes to Accra is a mixed cultural practice, and depending on the area that you are staying, it becomes a total different thing from maybe what you've experienced from the village. The village life and the life in Accra are not the same. They are different, totally different. How you spend here, the way people react to issues are different. So Accra is a mixed culture because everybody is here. Each one of the ethnic groups that we have in Ghana, some of them are here in Accra. So it's a mixed culture, and every language is spoken here. Although the Twi language dominates, but the Accra people, they speak Ga. But interestingly, I've not been able to speak that particular language ever since I came here. I've been here since 2009, but I've not been able to speak the local language here simply because of where I have stayed. Where I've stayed, the people around me, most of them don't speak the language, so it will be difficult for me to learn that particular language. So that is Accra is a mixed culture, and village is like a particular people, depending on where you are. For instance, where I am, all the people are like farmers within a particular community. So the life there is totally different from coming to the city with a mixed cultural background and all that. So it's a totally different aspect of life.
Okay, but let me also tell you that look, there's people from all parts of the world who are looking at you. There's Kenneth from the US, there's Sesh from India, there is Anna, she's in
Wow.
Brazil, yep. Then we have people from all over. So basically, you have to tell them all that first of all, in terms of your change from the village to the city, have you been able to adapt to it, or you would rather go back and do online mediation from your village? What would you rather do?
Oh, it will be difficult for me to go back to my village, although I visit there all the time. I can't go to my village and be doing online mediation. I would say that I've been able to adapt to the lives here in Accra than the life in my village. Although I visit the village most times and come back to Accra, maybe once a year, I have to go there and come back to Accra. But the life in Accra, when it comes to the city, the life is such that you have to also learn because it's different culture. I learn how to appreciate what is happening around you and be able to manage your life because nobody will manage it for you. It is you and you alone. Yes.
I know, but the only thing is that I don't know. At some point of time, are we going to say that because you have almost what 57% rural population? So are we going to say that the entire that whole urbanization thing will happen, or are we going to be able to develop villages in whatever way is required? I mean, you would tell us what development is required, but do you think the way forward is like everywhere else that go for urbanization and slowly, slowly the rural population kind of comes down to whatever the minimal percentage? What do you think?
Can you come up with your question again? Are you talking about in terms of Ghana or personal?
Yeah, in Ghana, I mean, are we saying that finally urbanization is going to take place, or is there a way that we can actually keep the rural population and develop that? And
Yeah, urbanization is more prevalent in Ghana. Yes, when you look at the cities like Accra, most of the capital cities is mostly choked, especially within Accra and Kumasi. It's really choked. Urbanization is taking place everywhere, and even Accra, if you want to buy a land now, where you get the land is very far because a lot of people have been in the city and the city has spread so fast because a lot of people think that the opportunities are here in Accra. People think that the opportunities are here in the city because there are a lot of underdevelopment in the local communities. What I wish to see is that the local communities will be developed. At least this government came up with one district, one factory. I was hoping that every district will have a factory which is up and working. And if that is possible, I think most people would like to stay in their village and work than coming to Accra to struggle. There are some people who are sleeping on the street, honestly. Yeah. Some people are selling on the streets. And I would say that some of us, we have not slept on the street before. We are lucky. But there are a lot of people who are sleeping on the street, selling on the street, which is very dangerous. And it is something that I wish it will not be there. That's the people will work towards it and do more in order to better the lives of the people in the rural areas so that they will not think that coming to Accra is the only way that they can change their life.
That's what I'm saying, that there has to be some way that we can do something about it, because I mean, larger cities, then finally those slums come up and people live in such bad conditions. So there has to be some way that rural development happens. Whatever, I mean, if factories is one way of going about it, maybe, but there must be other ways also. But what about agriculture? I mean, what's happening there?
Yes. When it comes to agric, yes, the villages they are doing so well. When it comes to agric, this government also came up with one idea which was also good: the planting for food and jobs. They wanted to encourage a lot of youth to go into farming, whereby when they do, they will get people to buy. There's one community called Agogo, which took advantage of this project. They've been able to plant a lot of plantains, and now they have even instituted a plantain festival there that they always celebrate in that particular community. That every year you see a lot of plantains coming from that particular village, which it's not really a village, it's a town, it's a big town, but it's an outskirt of, it's a part of the Ashanti region. But because they took advantage of this initiative, now it is something that is working for them. And this is what I wish to see that is happening in other communities. Other communities who are into a lot of different kinds of farming, pineapple, yam, and other things that I wish to see that they are when they are factories, people will go into the farming because the factories will buy them. If people are not people are producing and they are not getting the market to sell, it will be difficult for them to produce. Because if you are telling me to farm, live in my village and farm, I'm considering going into farming, even myself, because when I went to the village during Christmas, I told my parents to get some people to weed 2 acres of land for me. I want to start planting coconut. Why do I want to do coconut? Because a lot of people buy coconut. The coconut can also be used for other things. So if you are encouraging people to go into farming, there must be a way, an incentive. What will be the outcome of that farming? Would they get market? Would they be able to get factories who process what they have produced from the farm, which is also another issue. There is another initiative that they are also doing, the green farming, which they are also implementing to be able to make sure that they get local vegetable to feed the supermarkets and all that, which is a great initiative. And I think if more people are able to take advantage of that, but in most times it is more in the city and outskirts of the city, not really the much concentration is not on the villages. Although cocoa has been one of the biggest farming products in Ghana. If you look at our system, cocoa is one of the biggest. And when you go to the villages, almost all the parts, they have cocoa farms. And Ghana is doing well. Some of the farmers have been given certain incentives that they are using to produce more cocoa and other things. So I think a lot has to be done. They are doing their best. A lot has to be done to encourage the youth, because everybody is not, people are not training their children to become farmers. Always it's about, I'm training you so that you can get, I'm a farmer, I'm training you to become a better person, get an office work, get this. So, but are you able to train somebody so that they can do a mechanized farming and all that? These are the things that also we have to look at. That, okay, I'm a farmer, I'm looking at my child becoming a mechanized farmer, a farmer with a different perspective. And this is what it's a mindset is also part of it. Government can do their part, but the mindset of the people also play a major role.
No, I tell you, Isaac, if you really look into the situation for cocoa in Ghana, the problem is that no one looks at the situation of the farmer. The farmer gets nothing. I mean, if you really look at the entire chain, farmers getting nothing from that. So why is the farmer going to push their children into it? If you what you do is, there is a TV series called Rotten. So they have studied the cocoa, whatever the entire chain of cocoa and how it goes and what the farmer gets, and on the end when the Swiss chocolate is made, the vast difference in between and who's making the money out of it. So you have these farmers. Now there is someone who collects from all these farmers, and they have a little, I mean, they call it a cooperative, but it's not a cooperative. It's all a privately run thing. They collect there, and then they sell it to the next guy, who sells it to the next guy, who sells it then to another large. There are only, I think, there are 3 or 4 companies in the world who control cocoa. And on the other end, if you look at the situation at the farmer level, he's getting something like $1 for something. I mean, exactly, you'll see the series and you'll see really bad conditions. And the way the government has also come in, I don't think I think there's too much, I mean, money involved. So the government also has not been able to do what they really should be doing. So at the end of the day, farmer is not looked at all. The farmer
Yeah,
bears the
yes. It's true. You are right in so many ways. However, the thing has to do with the processing aspect. When it comes to the farmer produce. Are they sending it to the factory direct so that they process it, or there is a new mechanization whereby the farmer produces, they turn it into even a secondary product before they even sell it, which will give them more value? That has not been looked at. It's always about buying the seeds from them, and that is all. So this is something that I think we have to look at, because if you look at, they brought something called a pension scheme for, I think, farmers. And if you are looking for pension scheme for farmers, it is a great idea. But why do we have to wait for the person to go into pension before they benefit something? At least the incentive should be now, so that it can encourage the youth to get involved. That is also something that we have to also look at it. So what that you are saying is true, but the farmer gets something little, but more
So,
should be done.
Isaac, so little that just the basics are also not possible. Imagine that Swiss chocolate that Abe has sitting in Australia. On the other end, this farmer has got nothing. It's
Yes, and there are a lot
basics,
of
not even
even
basics.
yes, and even a lot of constraints from the farmers. That how can you just say that maybe a farmer? Sometimes when they are talking about child labor, for instance,
Yeah.
when my father is a farmer, so if I'm accompanying my father to the farm, it is child labor, and sometimes they classify certain issues as child labor, and which is not so when it goes to the villages, because do I leave my son or my daughter in the house when I'm going to the farm? Or when I'm harvesting the cocoa, they can be putting it together for me. And this is one issue that those who look into that matter should look at it critically, because if we're talking about child labor, you are saying you want to encourage more youth to come into farming. I'm home, I'm going to the farm. Should my son or my daughter be left in the house? Where will be the interest for that child when they grow up, because they have been left in the house, they don't know what happens in the farm and all that. So that is why I said there are a lot of things that has to be done when it comes to this farming and other things which has to do with child labor and a lot of things. I'm not saying child labor are not is good, it's not good, it's happening in other ways where people send their children to other people to use them for farming and they pay the parents and all that. That is not good. But I'm talking about you, your child. Where is the line when I'm home and I want to send my child to the farm? Is it a child labor? These are all sorts of things that also we need to consider as well.
No, because I tell you, this is not the situation in Ghana. This is everywhere in the world. Wherever there are large rural populations and farmers really don't get anything. The middleman makes all the money. That's what's
Yeah,
happening
sure.
everywhere.
Definitely. Yeah.
So how do things change down at the village level if nothing goes down there? The middleman
Yeah.
is sitting in the cities making all their money, and
Yeah.
nothing trickles down
You
to the.
may have scholarship for maybe cocoa scholarship, and you have somebody in the city enjoying that particular scholarship without the farmer's son or daughter enjoying such scholarship.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is something, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know what the solution is going to be, because finally, if the farmer gets the right value, like I said, there is such a major disparity between what the market is giving to the middleman and what the farmer is getting. If that gap can be in some way bridged.
Yes, it's really true, because my father or my parents are farmers. So looking at them as farmers, there is nothing encouraging to even go to farming, because if you look at their life as farmers up to now, what has changed in their life? What have they been able to achieve as farmers? Although they have cocoa farm, they have uh, palm plantation, they have different kinds of farm. What have they really achieved with those farms? One thing that we can say that maybe okay, they have been able to look after us to go to school uh, up to a certain level, but up to what level? These are some of the things. Because if some people are even farmers and looking at the farmers enjoying some kind of incentives to even support their sons and daughters to even go to the school, the little that they are making is the same money that they use to sponsor their children's education. Until now that we have um, from primary to SHS, we have free education that every Ghanaian has to enjoy. But even with that one, when a person is going to school, at least there should be a pocket money, there should be provision provided for such person to go to school. And the farmers go through all this pain, and they have to. When after completing the SS as well, they have to go to the universities, they have to go to the colleges. Which money are they supposed to use? It is this little money that they are making from the farms that they have to use to send their boys to school. So, it is something that we have to really look at the body which is in charge of that is the Cocoa Board when it comes to Ghana. They have to really look at that particular matter
No, but this
and
one,
do more.
but you're going to watch this series Rotten, if you can find that, it's there, and you'll see the entire thing that they've spoken about. The interesting
Okay.
thing is there is someone who's decided that, because obviously the large chocolate manufacturers are the one making money at the expense of the farmer who gets nothing. So this person has actually set up a factory in Ghana, somewhere in the rural areas, and is giving them much higher than what the farmers get otherwise. And he sells that chocolate, telling people about that. So that story behind it, that here we're trying to give the farmer whatever a fair value. Now, how much that fair value is, I also would not know, but at least better than what the farmer would get otherwise. So that's
Yeah,
one way
sure.
of going about it. I don't know. But Abe, now what happened with Isaac is that Isaac is supposed to go down to his village and identify those with the mediator mindset. His job that has been given to him, I don't know how many months back, he still hasn't got back. And for the symposium, he sent out a nice form to everyone. Please tell me about all this, about the traditional parts of mediation happening and in villages and everything. But beyond that, what happened, Isaac, after that?
Yes, I think during the Christmas when I went to my village, I told you I spoke to a couple of people about whether when they have issue, who do they go to, how do they resolve their matters and all that. And I think I share with you and other people. Uh, After that, I haven't really done much about that particular work. But I think I participated in one of the conferences online by SK Group and Associates recently on the emerging trends of judicial trends in arbitration and mediation. We spoke about. They wanted to know about the Ghana legal systems and what they've been able to do in mediation and arbitration. Yes.
Why did you,
So
first of all, why did you ever get into anything where it said arbitration and mediation? We are not going to link these things together. We are always
yes,
going to say, whenever you have something on mediation, I'll come. If you say arbitration and mediation, we don't want to link it together, because that's the biggest confusion in the world. In all these years, people do not know that mediation is something totally different. Why the linkage? I don't even understand why the linkage.
so one thing is, as for the linkage, I think it will be there for some time.
Why? Tell
Yes,
us
it
why.
will be there.
Why, Isaac? Why? Tell us
This
why.
is the reason. This is the reason. It is when people felt that they want some people to decide for them. If they are not using the judicial system, they are using arbitration, which is a private person to decide for them. Now, mediation is there whereby the parties will decide for themselves on
Yes.
what they want to do and how they want to manage their things. So it's a matter of the mindset, encouraging them to understand that it is better to make decisions for themselves than somebody deciding for them. So it will take some time. So there is a need for us to put the two together. And as we move on and explaining that these two things are different and they are not the same, they don't have the same effect, the processes are not the same. People will now realize that yes, there are two methods, one is different from the other, so that we cannot just separate them entirely. We should work with them together so that we'll be able to tell people that this is different, this is that, and this give you this result and give you
But
that particular result.
Isaac, the courts are, arbitration is just a private court. There is no
Yes,
difference.
yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah. So
exactly.
now
It's perfect.
they know what giving an order is, what decision making by some third party. They know that concept. What I'm trying to
Yes.
say is that the fact that you want to link them together, that confusion, that okay, there seems to be some similarity. That's where you link things. They are totally opposite. It's one is a north and the other is south.
I don't really even think there is even similarities in mediation and arbitration. It is only maybe when, if you are talking about the design of the process and the selection, then that is fine. But when it comes to the process itself, there is no similarity. So
There's
we
no
cannot.
similarity or any way. In no way
Yes,
is there any similarity. It's totally different. It is. I
yes.
mean, I can't even. It is like something sweet and something salty. But I mean, it's a different taste altogether. What is that? What is
And
the
the different,
canal?
the two processes are entirely different, and
Yes. So why talk to what? Why talk about them together? My issue has been not
so
today.
this
I don't
one
know.
was about how the development of ADL has happened has emerged within the years, and you cannot talk about ADL talking about
Wait,
without talking about arbitration and
we have
mediation. So
moved out from that. Abe is just going to tell you about how Australia no longer describes mediation as an alternative. He will tell us
yes,
that.
okay.
Abe, please tell him this. He's still stuck in that world. We have to get him out of that world.
I totally agree with Vikram. I think arbitration is completely different process, different model. It has nothing to do with mediation. It is actually de facto court.
Yep.
It's
Yes,
just
but
yeah,
we are saying the same thing.
No, you
yeah,
listen to first. You listen to Isaac. Listen to Abe. He's telling you something, because
yeah.
this is a problem that I don't know whether, because Isaac only came in during the symposium, but in 2020 we had a little meeting of the mediators collective, and I asked everyone that why has the mediation taken off? What is the thing? So everyone there said when you talk to people about mediation, they immediately say arbitration. That linkage all over the world, we have to
Yeah.
get that linkage totally. They have to be separated. They have to be able to tell people, look, it has nothing to do with this. It's because if you link something, they will say, okay, there is something, some kind of some similarity, some connection. And we are on one end, we are saying someone makes a decision for you. On the other side, we say you make a decision for yourself. So what are why are they putting those two things together to them? Because this is something in the traditional system also that you've heard me say this about the Indian system, that panchayat, and everyone keeps saying panchayat and mediation, linking them together. And the panchayat actually gives decisions. So in the villager's mind, if I say mediation is what the panchayat does, he's going to say, okay, another person who's going to make a decision for us. How is it? How have things changed? So this is something we have to be able to make sure that we put across, that no, that is something else that happens where someone takes a decision for you. This has nothing to do with that. This is you taking the decision. This is your dispute. You do what you want. We have to keep putting it there. I mean, you have to make sure, which I mean, I've always been saying this. I don't know why you've still not been able to maybe take it forward, that we have to disconnect the two. I've seen organizations who start with promoting mediation, and then they start promoting arbitration and mediation because the money lies in arbitration. That's what the situation is. So basically, that confusion will go on for life, because how will something take off if people don't even know about it? It's an issue. It's a major issue. I'm facing this everywhere, that how
It,
we are not being able to communicate. Yeah,
it is. It is. They come all under the IDR, but doesn't mean they are the same. Or they have. It's similar if you go to a restaurant and you order a few dishes, a few plates. Each plate has its own flavor, its own taste. But they all come under one meal.
And these days, what I've been trying to say is that, look, you have this
Yeah.
traditional methods of curing diseases, which every country has. I mean, Ghana also has. And then you have this whole new medical science that has developed, and that's another way of going about it. There are two different ways of going about it. There's nothing right or wrong. It's there. If people choose what they want to, but to put them two together, the person doesn't understand what's happening. I want the traditional healer. I want to go to that person. But I am confused at, oh, is this person also part of that modern medical science, or is this the traditional method? And we just keep confusing them. And for some reason, people, maybe the medical science has taken off over the years, and the traditional methods of curing have been some way. I mean, maybe there is too much, the money has come in, so the pharmaceutical companies and everyone has so much money that they've been able to in areas destroy the traditional methods also. So this is what's happened in mediation also, that that is all, it's by itself a total something which, I mean, it exists, yes, But it's actually, which this colonization that I keep saying has actually destroyed it in a lot of places. So we have to take it from there. We have to start take it up from there. And if we link the two, then this is going to be that little thing somewhere, and people, yes, will talk about it, but it will not flourish. So that is where, Isaac, I really feel that you need to put it across. I don't know how you're going to do it. Yes, Isaac.
Sure. And I perfectly agree with what you're saying. There are two separate processes that we need to let people know that yes, well, if you are doing mediation, it's mediation. If you are doing arbitration, it's arbitration. And if you look at Ghana now, if you even ask other person on the street if their case is even referred for mediation, you hear the person saying that the judge referred us for arbitration. Most of them
Exactly.
do not even understand the processes. They think that once you mention ADR is arbitration, and which
Exactly.
is not.
No, you are proving
Even
my point, Isaac. You're proving my point.
yes, yes,
You're
yes.
proving my point.
Yes, that's why I said earlier that we are all saying the same thing. There's something that we want to erase from the people's, but we want to sensitize them to know that yes, it is not mediation is not the same as an arbitration, and there is a mediator, there is an arbitrator. Arbitrator is like a judge. Mediator is only helps you to make your own decision. So, and this is what we want people to understand. And what I was saying is that it will not be today or tomorrow. It will take a little time, but definitely with an effort that we are putting in, with a lot of sensitization and education, we'll be able to achieve that. Because, but it will take some
No,
time.
but Isaac, it's been years now. Arbitration has been there for years. Mediation has been there for years in the world. It's not new. That connection is not being stopped because, like you just
Yes,
you
that,
connected the two. No, let me tell you why. You connected the two right now. Now, what happens is that you are part of the system. You at least know. Okay, you use the word ADR and you say under ADR these things happen. You know the process and everything. Think of a litigant. That litigant, for them, this world is not their world. This is just something they've been thrown into. Now, for those people, when you tell them that, like you said, judge is referred for mediation, although that part of it we discuss separately, whether the court should be involved or not, that's a different thing. But the judge is referred, and they think it is arbitration. So when that actually that mediation happens, there are mediators and lawyers in mediation centers in courts who come in and they conduct the process as if they are going to tell the parties what to do. And parties don't know any better because of the fact this confusion is there. Oh, they say,
yes,
oh, court is not doing it. Now they've in some way appointed someone else. And this person walks into the room and says, the court has appointed me and I will tell you what to do. And the person
yes,
says, okay, you do this. And they say, oh, court has said, and this. You have to understand their mindset. The litigant could be from a
yes,
village or wherever.
yes. Yes,
And
if yes, that is totally wrong if somebody does that, because some people are naive into the ADR system, whether it is arbitration or whatever. While they said a judge has referred us to you for settlement, they don't care what you do with the process. All that they want to do is that they have a solution, and people are abusing that. But we need to educate the people to let them know that yes, if somebody is doing mediation, then this is what you should expect from mediation. And
exactly.
one thing is also that, when it comes to Ghana, mediation was left behind for a long time. Even in 1961, there was an act which is called Act 31, which recognizes arbitration and customary arbitration. Mediation was ignored. When mediation was only mentioned that in arbitration process, settlement can be done. So it means that this process were left behind. Then when it came to 1993, when the Court Act was passed, the Court, if you look at Section 72, it recognizes amicable settlement when a civil matter is in court, or even a court, if you look at the Section 73, a court can encourage even amicable settlement in even a criminal matter. Still, mediation was not mentioned, although they said amicable settlement. Then when it comes to 2010, when the new AD Act was passed, when the AD Act was passed, it recognizes arbitration first, then mediation in the part two, then the part three is the the national establishment, the customary arbitration, and part 4 is the establishment of National ADR Center. What the center was supposed to do is to regulate, have register of mediators, register of arbitrators, and be able to be the regulatory and make sure that they distinguish the process, bring out educational guidelines and accreditations and other things. But as we speak now, that particular center is still in the law books. It has not been established. So it is only the private sector that has taken it upon themselves to make sure that, okay, this is what we want people to know. So somebody long ago established Ghana Arbitration Center, which is a private arbitration center, because that is what maybe the person feel that I can make something from. It's a private initiative. So a lot of people think that when you mention ADL, it's arbitration. Then other people also started doing mediation centers. Then some of them were acting, even mediators acting like even judges, and they were wanted to tell people what to do because people are naive. They don't understand what are the process and what they should expect from that particular process. So, and now people are getting to understand that, okay, mediation is this, arbitration is this. And you see most of also the act industry as well, because people are not aware of mediation and arbitration and those things. In our movies, you don't really see that much in those movies, because if we are seeing mediation in our movies, when there is an issue within a movie and they are going for mediation, then somebody will understand that, okay, this happens. So when I have issues, something can also be done this way. Even the only thing that you may see most of the movies is courts, police or courts. So you don't see mediation, arbitration happening in those scenes and movies and other things. So I think that is also another way that we can look at how we can sensitize the people, fusing this principle and practices in our movies and in the art industry, so that people who are watching, because once you watch, people get to understand, okay, this is nice, and when I have issue, I can also do that. I think people will start doing something like that. Yes.
But police and courts is exciting stuff. It's there's so much happening, so much action happening. So that's why movies bring that. This will be boring. They sat together across a table, they settled, movie finished. 5-minute movie, 10-minute movie finished. Okay, so Isaac, what you need to do is quit everything, start making movies now. That's what you have to do. Just movies.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, small videos. Just put them out there, and people are just sitting together, settling. So maybe you need to do that.
Yeah.
But
yes, sure. It's something that I have planned to do. I have spoken to a couple of people to start working on something like that, so that it will be not just showing a mediation process, but it will be maybe an actual series whereby mediation or ADR processes can happen, so that people will get to understand.
Isaac, please,
No,
mediation.
my differences.
They've seen arbitration. Arbitration is the court system, but it's your private court.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's interesting to know that even they have seen arbitration, but there's somebody who has not even entered a court before. Even just the court building, they are afraid of it. There are people like that.
But they should stay away from it also. And they've seen enough in the movies, like you said. They know what that process is. I don't know why people are still going about it. They've seen it. They know what a judge is. That judge word is changed by saying, I'd call that person the arbitrator. There's no difference. It is a court. What happened was, because of the fact that courts we were not able to decide, and the processes were maybe little inflexible. We had to go to the court and everything. So arbitration came up. Okay, you decide, you appoint your own arbitrator, your own judge, you do it where you want. It's your wish. You don't have to come to the court. So arbitration, but it's just a court. So they don't need to see that. They've seen enough of that. What you have to show them, the nice, them sitting together, collaborating. Those are the things you have to show them. Actually, what Abe, the thing is that, let me tell Abe.
You be the spoiler for that movie.
Yeah. We will be part of it. But let me tell Abe that Abe, the
I
issue is
think
that
Mr. Abe, you and Mr. Abe will be the sponsors.
okay. Yes. But let me tell Abe also. The situation, Abe, is that basically Isaac is making his money from the ADR concept. So and mediation is not giving him much. So he has to
No, no,
push
no,
the other things. That's all that's happening. And he's never going to push
no.
mediation because the money is
You
not
know,
there.
you know. No, it's not. It's not. It's not about a matter of money. Is not mediation. No, it's not. It's not like that. Uh, you work with an institution. Yes, every institution has its own set of objectives that you work with. Yes, so definitely this is what an institutional objective. I have my personal objective and what I want to see. I could have after my first degree and after my master's, I could have done maybe LLB, go to the law school and become a lawyer, but that is not what I'm looking at. I want to be an ADR practitioner who doesn't have any law background, and that is what I want to be seen as, a mediator who doesn't have a law background. Because that is why when I had the opportunity to go and do my master, I went to do peace and development studies so that you understand conflict, you understand how to analyze conflict, understand people, emotions, and how to assist people and helping them to resolve their issues. The underlying issues among triggers and other things. People sometimes we just look at conflict and you say, oh, these people like fighting and all that. You don't know maybe the history behind that. We just look at what is happening and pass the comment. So that is why I took the opportunity to learn about peace and development and be able to know more about what is behind the conflict that is happening and be able to assist people. So it is not a matter of I have an interest. Yes, I enjoy training people so that they also understand how to do mediation and other ADR mechanism. But that is an institution that I'm working with. They have their focus, they have their vision, and I work within those vision. I have my personal vision and goals. It's my view are that even in the traditional settings that we even have customary arbitration, we should even be able to have customary mediation, whereby the chief will not pass judgment for the disputing parties, but the chief will sit down with them. And some of the chiefs agree to that. And some of them have been trained whereby they are using mediation to do their, instead of using the customary arbitration, whereby they pass down judgment for people and say that this person is guilty, this person is this. They are not doing that. Some of them are actually mediating. And that is what I want to see. Because if we say that we are giving them another way of seeking satisfaction, and if we are saying ADR processes are therapeutic and it helps people to come out with their shelves and be able to express themselves and all that, how is it therapeutic? And so it's a boil down to where people are able to vent out their issues and other things. But if you are bringing somebody to judge on whatever they will say, then it means that you have not completed the process well. After they've been able to vent out, they must be able to search within themselves and say that this is actually the solution that I want, the solution that I'm looking for, and this is what I think it will be best to help me. And that is what I want to see from 10 years from now.
But when James, you were part of that session that James Mangarari, you had come in there? You spoken to him there? When we had that
Yeah, I think
symposium.
I've spoken to James. Yes, yes. There's a
Did-
symposium. Yeah, I spoke to
But
James. And the last time too, I saw you and Victor. I think I have to connect with Victor as well.
yeah. With James, did you talk to him about what he's doing? Because those are things we would, I
No,
think we,
I've not really spoken to James. I think from that day that we spoke at the symposium, I don't have contact with James. I don't know if you can share with me. I'd be happy
all the
to
details are
speak
there
with.
on my website. Go to mediatorvikram.com. Everyone's details are there.
Oh, I haven't seen his details there. You know your website. I've been going there all the time.
Bullshit. You're going there. You're not going there at all. I know this. Yeah,
You
there
know
was.
it. You know it. You know I go there all the time.
So if you had gone there, you would have found his details. So that's okay.
Oh,
No,
I
because
go there all the time. The last time, the one funny thing when I was looking for the time differences from India and all that. And I remembered, oh, I can get it from Vikram's website. So I went there straight, check the time difference from there.
But okay, but now let me tell Abe the situation. Abe, the situation is that I am wearing the traditional Ghana dress that he sent me, and and Isaac himself doesn't want to wear it. Can you see how can it be? Can it be
Oh,
sadder than
no,
that?
no, Vikram, if you say that, then you are not being fair to me, because the first time I wear it and you were happy, you liked it, and that is why I sent you one.
But
Yes, but
no,
today
but
I've told you that I've sent mine to laundry, and there's no way I could have worn
no,
it.
I thought Isaac is going to say I had one. I've sent it to you. What do I wear now? I thought he's going to say that.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. There is no way I'm going to say that.
Because I'm telling you, I really want to see people wearing the traditional dresses. It's such a nice thing. I mean, come of it.
Yes, next time, next time that we have a conversation again, I'll try as much as possible and put on my ethnic group, our traditional dressing for you to see. It's a cloth that I have to put on for you to see. Maybe you haven't seen that, but I'll send you pictures of those clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm telling you that this is something that we are losing out. This is one aspect of it. Language, people are forgetting their languages, traditional dresses. Slowly, food also. Only parts of it is going
Yes.
forward.
We are mixing a lot of food, continental dishes, this seafood, this. We are mixing a lot of foods and other things. Yes, but
Good.
I'm into local food. I like eating local foods. I like wearing African print and all that. So I actually wear this to promote my association, which is Ghana National Association of ADR Practitioners. So that is why I'm wearing this.
Can you imagine,
So
Abe, this is what's happening. He wants to promote his. This is not sponsored by
I'm
your
promoting it.
organization. Isaac is supposed
I'm
to come as
promoting it
Isaac.
for you. I'm on Vikram's show. I'm promoting now on Vikram's show.
Imagine, Abe, this is what it has come down to now. People want to promote their organizations. Ultimately, it's going to be like, oh, let's get it sponsored by Isaac's organization. That's what it's going to come down to. No, it's not going to
This
happen.
one is free promotion by Vikram. Free promotion by
That's what I'm
Vikram.
doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. And Abe has
Okay.
said, Abe has put it
Let me
down there
let me
in the.
introduce you.
Abe has said,
Let
charge
me
him for
introduce you to
advertising fees.
somebody wants to say. Somebody wants to say hello to you, Vikram.
Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
He's a deputy marshal of Parliament of Ghana. He's a facilitator here, so he will be teaching in the afternoon.
Very nice.
Yes.
So, are you going to tell us
Yes.
something about Isaac? He's going to tell us about Isaac. Isaac, you close your ears now.
Yes. So sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you too?
Good. Can you please tell us something about Isaac? And just tell yourself that he's not listening. He's not listening. Whatever.
Oh, he's not listening?
No, he's not listening. Yeah. Isaac, your ears are closed now. Shut your ears.
Yes, I've closed my ears.
Yeah.
Well, Isaac is the course administrator here. He's doing so well. He monitors, puts all of us on schedule, make sure the lectures are apt, revised, researched into, and all that stuff that takes for us to put hands on deck lessons for the students to grasp, so that from here they can get into conflict resolution situations, mediation, arbitration, and other stuff. So I think he's doing a pretty good job.
But what kind of work are you doing?
I'm a deputy marshal of Parliament of Ghana, and I facilitate for this program as well.
So, what, I mean, you teach or you?
Yeah, I teach.
But anything? What specific subject you teach?
Conflict analysis.
Okay. Because I tell you, before you came in, we were having a discussion with Isaac about this connection that between mediation and arbitration that is made, that both the words are used together, mediation and arbitration. And according to me, I've actually spoken to people all over the world, and that confusion remains. People are not aware that they are totally different things.
Totally different things. I agree.
And because of that confusion, mediation doesn't take off because people don't even know what that process is. And arbitration is something that either is pushed too much because it is something which is closer to what people would understand, like it's a
Yeah.
court, it's a
Yeah.
it's like a judge, they will give a decision, people understand that.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
so
So I think it's mediation we should rather encourage more, because at least there the parties have a lot of power in resolving their own issues, just with the mediator being a referee. But people tend to think that because arbitration is so close to the court, it's beginning to rain here. I wonder whether the sound is still clear. Am I still clear?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you are right there. There's a world of difference between the two, but people keep confusing them, mediation, arbitration. But we're emphasizing more on mediation because we are dealing with traditional leaders, family elders. But if they acquire the basic mediation skills, they can help in preventing conflicts and resolving conflicts, especially at the traditional level. Things that are not so criminally based, that probably can be resolved without resort to the law courts. So that is our emphasis and focus for now.
No, but in the traditional methods, actually certain criminal cases are also in some way resolved within communities through a collaborative process. I mean, we are using the word mediation today. They don't use the word mediation, but the community sits together and they resolve disputes or even criminal matters. So I was telling telling Isaac, there is a person in Kenya who's doing a lot of work on this traditional methods and promoting the traditional methods, and in some way sensitizing people on that. I think you should watch that session. There was a symposium that I did. There was a person called James Mangareri in Kenya. Watch his
Okay,
session. Isaac will tell you. Yeah, because
I will watch it.
yeah,
I
because
will watch it because
yeah,
getting the traditional authorities, the traditional family leaders on board mediation will go a long way in contributing to peace in most of our communities, especially in Ghana.
exactly. And that has to be strengthened. We have to strengthen that. We don't have to do away with it. We have to strengthen that.
Sure, they have to be strengthened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's doing a lot of work in Eastern Africa. So I
Sure.
think maybe you should take, I don't know, of course, watch that session, and then maybe you should get in touch with him and see what work they're doing. Maybe because according to me,
I will.
over these years, he's figured out how to go about it, because there are
Okay.
certain issues with the traditional methods also. People there also,
Yeah.
the chiefs and all, tell them what to do. So
Oh, okay.
how
I'll do that.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll hand
Nice
over.
meeting you.
Isaac,
Nice
I'm
meeting
going for
you.
a later.
Yeah.
Okay, Vikram, I'm back.
Yes, good. That's good. One by one, you have to get everyone from your center to
It's
sit.
actually raining here.
But what we're going to do is, Isaac, everyone from your center, one by one, we're going to get them here. We're going to talk to each of them. It's going to be
Yeah,
now.
you want to talk to each of them. Yes, I can have a section for you to talk to most of them.
But okay, now also let me tell Abe, because Abe has not been part of that process. Abe, what I have now decided is that in terms of, I keep saying that Peacemakers Collective, school teachers are the ones I'm going to now bring together, and they will be the ones who will promote mediation, be it in schools or in communities. They will identify those with the mediator mindset and then coordinate the process. So Isaac has very nicely arranged for a meeting on Monday. Yes, Isaac?
Yeah, so I have one teacher. I asked her to put about 10 of her colleagues together so that we can have a conversation with them online about how the students resolve their issues among themselves, but also how teachers are playing that particular role, and how they can also improve the community's understanding on mediation. So they have agreed to come on board for us to have the discussion with them. I've sent the date to them, so I'm waiting for a confirmation from them whether we'll be able to meet them on Monday as we schedule. Yes, so that is what is going to happen now.
Because I told you, I done that with some teachers in some rural part of India. So what we need to do is just make that one video, that one discussion that we have, and then we can circulate it everywhere. We don't have to keep having those discussions after that. So
Sure.
that's what I want to do in that discussion. so that how to take it forward. And these are people, look, teachers are always respected in society, so people
Yeah.
respect them, and they will be able to obviously explain to them in a better way because they are teachers. So if we
Yes,
can,
really, as for teachers, we respect them everywhere. In our local communities, we respect teachers. Teachers are respected. And I think if there is a way to train more teachers in mediation, they also inculcate that into the minds of the children and also the community themselves that they live in. They can also assist in resolving issues within that particular community.
no, look here, this is what I'm trying to do, Isaac. Again, I'm trying to differentiate between the two. One is the mediators collective, one is the peacemakers collective. Everyone, like I keep saying, you can't train someone to be a mediator. So but the teachers have a role to play. The role is, if you go to my website, I've actually put down the difference between the two. So the mediator is the one who's actually assisting them in resolving the dispute. But to reach that point, someone has to tell people about mediation, has to identify those people with the mediator mindset in the communities, then reach out to the other party, tell them that yes, you should use mediation for resolving the dispute. Then I'll help them identify the mediator that they trust, then put them together. Someone has to do all that, and I'm saying these teachers will be used for that. And out of them, if they have someone has a mediator mindset, obviously they should mediate, not a problem. But I'm not saying that we are making teachers into mediators. No, everyone can't be a mediator.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can create a whole pool of these teachers who are out there promoting mediation, and also give, I mean, look, so the biggest difficulty in mediation is to get the other party also on the table. That's always telling them, if one person approaches you, approaching the other person. So these teachers will be good for that. And now, of course, Abe has put something down in the chat. Abe, why don't you tell us why put it in the chat? Why don't you tell us about this?
I didn't want to take Isaac's time. That's why. No, but I mean, I did give a talk about. I'm interested in the school uh, education and mediation. I did deliver peer mediation here in Australia to some high school students. But I did give a talk to the Philippines education system, the Catholic education system. It's quite a huge. And we talked about programs that could be implemented in the schools at no cost. There's no money involved. And that's something that it is about peace building and peer mediation. And that's proved to be really fantastic because it's not going to cost you anything. And any school can implement it.
Yeah, because the thing is that there are two parts now. One is, of course, those teachers to create that atmosphere within the school where
Absolutely.
the same thing, that let the students identify those with the mediator mindset, and obviously tell them about mission. Then leave it to them to take the process through. And then also the teachers playing that role in communities, doing the same thing there.
Absolutely true.
Because
Absolutely true.
after speaking to people and trying to see how this can be taken forward, I finally narrowed it down to teachers. They will be they'll be the ambassadors for mediation in the community,
Okay.
and they will look. Finally, we also have to find a way that they get remunerated, and for me, that way is that the communities, we should be told that you must value this service that they're providing. They're helping, the teachers are helping you, the mediators are helping you resolve your dispute. Pay them. Don't just think of it everything is a free service, because you pay so much to you would pay so much to
So
lawyers.
are you looking at referrals pay?
Whatever way. No, I'm saying, no, let the community decide. Okay, let the community decide. But we need to tell them that this is something which is not just because they're good people and they want to do it. Yes, they want to do it, they want to help you, but value them, because they're providing a very, very valuable service. Because of a dispute, once a dispute goes through the court, the kind of amount, the money that you need to spend, the time you need to spend, the peace of mind goes. So if someone is actually assisting you to resolve it right there, Why not? And I tell you that there has to be certain focus on villages for sure, because there is such a large rural population.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to focus there. And what I feel is, I don't know I don't know how big those villages are that you have. Is one village mediator enough? Two are enough? Let's see what the population is, population wise. But we need to
Yeah.
be able to have these designated people identified by the village only. I mean, we don't need to do anything. Then put them
Yeah.
together. We have to put them together and create some kind of a database and let people use them. That's what we want. Because the thing is, look, one is of course from your end, the business that you've got a business of the ADR center. That's one part of your life. That part of is commercial part of it. The other is your NGO, where you're trying to do good things in society. So that you'll have to decide which side you want to do it with. Because if you want to create it as a commercial thing, then it's a different model altogether. And if it's something where you just are putting it together and getting funding from third parties, maybe organizations, maybe the government, you don't know where that funding comes from.
Maybe
You
from
say,
Vikram. Yes.
Vikram, please. Now, okay, you seriously want that divorce to happen, is it? First, I spend so much time, and on top of that, he wants me to fund it. Finish. That's the end of my family life for sure. No, but I don't know whether you read again. Part of that vision 2026. This is what I said. I said
Yeah.
if there are people who have projects that they want to do in wherever they are, let's put them together with people who want to fund it, or people who want to give their time to in some way mentor them, whatever other support that they need. Some monetary support is required, some non-monetary support is required. So that we'll bring them together, but let someone come out with those projects. Could be anywhere in the world, any part of the world. It could be a small project just to set it up in a village. Who knows what comes up? Because that is
Sure.
where we have to reach. We have to reach those people. We have to see that if we can develop it from there. Because I still feel that countries like yours and mine, where there is such a large rural population, let's not wait for the same problems of urbanization to come up for them also. Let's catch it right here, because the structure of society, the communities is very different in rural areas and very different in
Yeah.
the urban areas. So we have something where we can start working on. I'm not saying that you're not going to work in the big cities or the towns. Of course, the work happens there also. I mean, it's not going to
Yeah.
be that only we are focused only in that. But I'm saying that we have an opportunity there where things in terms of community is better, because once there is collaboration within communities, that will lead to a lot of good things as we go along. So I agree. I don't know. Let's check with. What do you say, Isaac? Then we'll ask Abe. So what do you think?
Yes, I think you are right in saying that where teachers will play a very large role when it comes to this kind of project that everybody must get involved when we want to get more people to understand mediation, and also identify people within communities who are doing some kind of mediation to assist the people. Maybe they are even resolving dispute that they don't even know they are doing mediation. Teachers can play that major role in identifying such people, because teachers are everywhere in every communities. Some people were trained in the cities, they were posted in the villages. So it is easy to connect with teachers to identify those people. And also, teachers can also sensitize the students and also the community. They can sensitize them, and also they can also help in the operations of community, maybe mediation center. They will not actually be the mediators or whoever, but in the administrative or the administration of that particular centers within communities, they can play a functional role, maybe after school and all that. They can help in doing a lot of work. And during weekends too, they can do a lot of work within them. They can be used for no teachers close, depending on which class that they are teaching, they close early enough that they can also play other a major role within the community, which can be looked at. It's a good idea that you have brought on board, and I'm going to look at it and see how best. That is why I told you yesterday that I've identified somebody to put the people together. Let's start talking to them and see how they are. Not. I'm sure it's not going to be easy, but it's something achievable. Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been saying since last year. that Isaac is such an enthusiastic person. He sent that form out, got feedback. Everyone, no one else did that. You did that. So that enthusiasm and that whole way of putting people together, if you put your mind to it, you'll be able to do it. But obviously, you have
Sure.
to spend a lot of time in the ADR center also. So obviously, you might not have so much time, but give them the direction that okay, this is how you have to go about it. Because they just have to get to know the basics as to what mediation is. They understand it. That word is
Yeah.
something is a problem. Maybe they don't understand the word. What is this new word that you're telling me? Just connect them to the process, which is simple. It's not
Yeah.
difficult at all. And from there, let them take it up. So I think that'd be something. But Abe wants to say something.
Okay. I just want to say, Isaac and Vikram, first we need to ask ourselves, if we implement a program, who will benefit from this program? Is it just the students, the teachers, the parents, the community, the business community, the police, the courts? Because if we reduce violence, all of these people will benefit. So let us go back to the police, to the courts, to the business community and say, support us to reduce the crime, to reduce violence in the community, to reduce violence in the streets or in the schools. They will find the benefit to them. If we just ask them, give us money to support the students, nobody's interested.
But
But give us money to support you.
Abe, how I'm looking at it is that first of all, I don't even get into talking to the government or whatever, because I tell you why. Because this is not something new. It's been discussed, everything. But I am saying here from the community perspective,
Hmm,
if the community within themselves, first of all, they have to value the process and they have to
absolutely.
value those people with the mediator mindset. I'm saying be it school or in the community. Now school, why we're doing it in the schools is because children should actually experience dispute resolution. I've been saying this and you've heard me saying so many times that peer mediation has gone out into the world,
Hmm,
but it has gone out into training children to be a certain kind of person, how you should manage conflicts, or non-violent communication, and those things that the students are taught. Yes, teach them, but that's not mediation. Mediation is when the children themselves feel empowered enough that they can resolve a dispute within themselves. It
hmm.
takes a lot of skill, that person with the mediator mindset, which is that child who knows how to do it, to actually the person. I'm saying if students themselves see it happening in front of them, all those things that you want to teach them, otherwise they'll pick it up in one mediation just by seeing it. And it can be something which children can be part of seeing wherever possible. They can actually see it happening, so they learn from that. So for me,
Of
that same thing. Now these children, when they are in, of course they're in families, they are in houses, they will at least start talking to their families. They will tell them, look, in our school we do this. In your dispute, why don't you do it? You try and settle it within yourselves. And if you can't, then why don't you get a mediator in the picture, a third person? Because we are doing it in our school, it works. So this is the pressure which will come from the children. On the community part of it, this, if a teacher, I'm saying the teacher goes out and tells people about mediation, identifies the person with the mediator mindset, and actually some mediation happens, people would understand and value that process. In the community, business people are in the community, bureaucrats are in the community, everyone. I mean, what is a community exists, and people who are in workplaces are part of the community. So all of them will taste that. They will get the flavor of mediation. Then when they go out into their businesses or into their workplaces, they will take that message there. Now, why? How does Abe benefit, or how does Isaac benefit? Because you are the face of mediation within that community, because you are spoken about it, you was talking to teachers, you're talking to students, everything. So you are the face there. Now whenever certain thing comes up in their businesses, in their workplaces, they know they will come and talk to Abe. Okay, Abe, we have this, can you look at this? Maybe they'll ask you to resolve, or maybe they'll ask you to suggest someone. So you are involved in the entire process. So that is benefit for you, because finally people have to be, they need something personal. What do I gain from it? in promotion of mediation, yes, you will gain certain personal happiness that I've actually promoted it. Yes, but you have a house to run. So you also need that, okay, this is something that I need to
Yes,
get
to make
something
the
out of.
money.
So for that, because I'm saying today you're looking at it because you just started. I mean, I'm just saying you do it. Talk to some teachers. But when you have a whole network of these teachers whom you're talking to, and they all say, yeah, Isaac is promoting this. We're talking to Isaac. So you are promoted in the community also. So whenever more complex matter comes out, one is, look, a matter within the community. Okay, some neighbor has a problem with the neighbor, but that is also a dispute for them. That is a very important part of their life, that dispute. But and if you can help them resolve it there, like I said, the flavor of mediation people have not got, because they've moved away from it. It is not a new thing. This was the only way you had before colonization. What did you have? You had your community, and you had to settle it within your community. Or if you had like your chiefs, you went to the chiefs. If it was a kingdom, then you went to your king, and or whatever structure they had created. But otherwise, within the community, because look, a village and what the ruler was sitting in some place, he has a palace somewhere, there was still a disconnect. There was still a distance. So obviously communities were taking care of all this within themselves. So that's what you're creating, an atmosphere. And just because you are bringing out something where some way some dispute is resolved, that peace of mind that a person gets, I'm telling you, it's something that it's like, okay, it's nothing better that in terms of feeling. You can't even, I mean, you know
Yeah,
what that feeling is.
sure,
So
sure. And even to add to what Vikram is saying, that when it comes to the benefit side, if we are able to identify these teachers, they always see you as the one who introduced them to them in every activity. They are going to get you involved and inform you about what they are going to do. It's like training people, as we train people here. Those that we have trained, when they go and the issues are something that they cannot handle or they have find some difficult, they always come back to you and say that, okay, I'm doing this. What should I do next? Or what do you think about this? So definitely everything will come back to you, and you are likely to receive even a larger share of the benefit than even the people that you have introduced them to that particular field. Yeah.
exactly, the community will identify you as the person who has actually pushed it. So once that happens, and you are known for the person who's promoting mediation, so you've got your brand there, that okay, Isaac does this. But only thing is, for Isaac, he promotes mediation. That's what we want. He doesn't
Yeah.
promote, oh, you don't want to settle
It
yourself, no
doesn't,
problem,
it
you can
doesn't
fight.
promote
You can
ODL.
fight. We can fight with each other. If you can't do this, you don't like this peaceful method, I have another method for you. Go for
Sure.
arbitration, kill the other guy. I have everything for you. I have missiles, I have rockets, I have planes, everything. What method do you want? Don't do that. That's what that's my only issue with the whole thing. Don't give them
Yeah.
that, okay, I be collaborative. Oh, but if you can't be collaborative, no problem. Go and litigate. Go for arbitration. I don't want that to happen. But then you're sending a very wrong message out to them. Are you saying we should collaborate, or are you saying we don't have to collaborate? What are we telling them? That's what we're
Yes,
telling
but
them.
yes, yes.
On one day, I am so convinced about the mediation process. Why should I tell them that there is this other process, which is the court system? Arbitration is court system. Okay, no different. Why should I
Yeah.
tell them? Why should I tell them that even that is an option? It is not an option. In a lot of ways, it's not an option. So if I'm putting them together, I'm actually, I'll go back, we keep going back in the loop on this discussion, but it all starts from the basic, what attitude towards dispute resolution are you giving them? Is the attitude of collaboration or not? That's what we have to be able to tell ourselves. What are we telling them? That are we telling them that do what you want? We have everything for you. Which medicine do you want? This traditional one also, we have the modern one also, whichever one, but we have everything for you. Are we really helping them then? But I'm saying that if you're telling them, look, this works, I know
Yes,
this
actually,
works.
there should be a focus on one.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
And
if I'm telling you this method of collaboration, and within yourselves
but
you can resolve it, if
but
it
my
works.
issue has to do with, yes, there should be a focus with one, but at least the people must know that there are these methods which are not helpful. Yes, they are there, but they are not helpful. But this will give you something that you yourself will decide for yourself, and this is more collaborative, and you are able to express yourself, give your own opinion. It is not like the courtroom that even some languages are not, certain things that you don't even understand, because unless you finish and go and ask your lawyer what really transpired at court premises and all that, or the courtroom. So this is something that people should embrace. So that is why I mentioned earlier that it's supposed to be hand in hand for now, so that people will get the clear understanding as to the differences between the two and the way forward if you use this, and why we want them to use mediation.
No, how I'm again going about it is that those options they know about. Look, that's the easiest thing, that you can fight with each other. They know they can fight with each other. You're not giving them anything new. They know how to do it. What are you telling them? But
I
I
totally I understand where you are coming from. Yes, yes, I have mediation. Yes, this is
but
mediation,
no, but
and I
I
think
if I go back,
mediation will help you. That is it.
no,
Yes.
if I go out and tell people, look, I'm not convinced about mediation, but I'm telling you it exists, what faith is the person going to have in the process? First of all, you're telling them to use a process, which of course I'm saying is not new to them, but you're telling them to use that for their dispute resolution. But at the same time, to say, look, it's not something that may not be the right thing for you. You also have this, and we also have that, and we also have that. What use is it? What are we? What? How have we helped them? We haven't really helped them. But if we tell them, look, which is what that again, this back to the symposium, connecting them to the process in the traditional way, that okay, this is something. Talk to them about colonization. Say that the court system came up because the British came in and they created those court systems, and that was to benefit them. But within communities, we need to bring out those wise people, as what people keep saying, the wise people. So to get them, whatever, like you asked, that terminology that you already have. So let's bring them out. We have in some way lost their value because society has changed and people are looking at things differently. There's no respect for elders, maybe whatever reasons have come up as society changes. So let's connect them with that, and let us try and tell them that this is your option. That's other side doesn't. I mean, first of all, of course, cost is one part. Time factor, we don't know. I don't know how much time does it take in the Ghanas, in the court system, for an average case to go through?
Average case, averagely can take like 2 years.
Okay, so that's not
Average,
so bad. That's not so bad. That's not so bad
yeah,
because
it can take like 2 years. Some can also take up to 26 years.
yeah. So then how is the average 2 years? We want average. Is the average 10 years or is it?
So that's why I'm saying that some you won't get more cases traveling to maybe 26 years, but that's why I'm saying on average, a case is supposed to end between, especially when it comes to divorce matter, like 2 years supposed to end. But there are some of them which will travel like 6 years, 4 years. Yes. Some
But
of
that is
them 10 years.
But what you're saying is that entire process, that means once the matter, there's a decision, there's an order which goes
Yeah.
to appeal and then further appeal in
Oh
the entire.
yeah, when they appeal, yes, appeal up to the Supreme Court. Some of them will stay there like 20 years,
Yeah, so
15 years. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That are we telling them that? Are we telling them that now in terms of arbitration? I don't know what the situation in Ghana is. That if arbitral award, is it going into courts? Are people, and how much time does
Yeah,
more?
when it comes to Ghana, everything about ADR, whether mediation or arbitration, when you do it at a private or at the court, if the court refers the matter to you after the settlement, or if it's an award, you send it back to the court for enforcement. The court will adopt it at its own judge. So it will not come out as a mediation settlement, it will come out as a court judgment if the court referred it. But
Okay.
when it is on a private matter, like somebody walks into my mediation center and we do mediation for the person, and at the end of the day have a settlement. If both of us agree and we honor our promises and terms, it ends there. But one party fails to honor their part of the agreement, then one party have to go to the court with motion, praying the court to adopt it and accept it as a consent judgment. So the court, that one doesn't take much time. At most, it will be like 3 months at most. But within 1 month, that process can end. Yes. So as for when you do settlement and you go to court, it's really short. You don't stay in court for a long time.
No, but now when it comes to say an arbitration and you have an arbitral award, and the other person will challenge that award because they will go to court. They will not. One person will go in one person's favor. It will go against the other person. So that person will go in the court. How much time does it take then after that? If a person challenges an arbitral award,
if you want to challenge, it depends on the processes. If once there is an award and you want to challenge the award, if the award happens like this, if there is an award within 28 days, you are supposed to do any corrections. If you have any corrections, you are supposed to do that. Within the next 3 months, if you have any challenge of the award, you have to do that within that particular 3 months. If you don't do it after the 3 months, you can't do anything about the award.
No, I'm saying you filed it. You filed it within 3 months. The person challenges it,
Okay,
files it
within
within
the
3
3
months.
months, if you file it with,
how much time will it take after that?
Okay, if you file it within the 3 months, I have not witnessed one like that, but I don't know how long it will take. I won't be able to give you a specific time for a challenge of an award to take. It all depends on the lawyers.
You have to find this out.
Yes,
because once it gets challenged, even after that, if the court gives a decision on that, then the appeal will happen. Then again, it'll go till the Supreme Court. So how much time does the entire process take? It's a very important part to tell people that arbitration also.
I have to look at for. Yes.
Because I'll tell you why. Because we have to tell people that arbitration also doesn't work. It's not that arbitral award is something. Now you've got that award, finished. No, the other person will challenge it, and then you will be again.
But it also depends on the kind of the clause that they put in some of the contracts. There are dispute solution clauses that says that the arbitral award is final and binding.
That everyone says that they have to say.
Nobody can go to court to challenge it.
No, you can't.
So some of them you cannot go to court.
You can't stop a person from exercising the legal right. If they say that it was an illegal award, it was the arbitrator did this or this happened, did not.
Yeah, as for that one, a challenge of an award, if it is based on bias, yes, then you have to go to court.
You have to understand that the party lawyers. Yes. Lawyers are sitting there for this. This is what lawyers do. This is what they do. Yes. They'll find some way to challenge it. Once it goes into court, that time is going to be spent, that money is going to be spent. So you have to tell people this. That's why I'm saying that whole difference comes in from there. That this by itself is finished. The matter is finished. You settled it, gone, done. Now you don't have any further process here. Even if you go for this process, even if you create your private court and your private judge through arbitration, that is still an order which can be challenged. And then that whole process takes that time. That's the important part that we have to tell people.
Yes. As for when it comes to mediation, for example, there is no way you can go and challenge your own settlement. So exactly. that is also an important thing to do. Yeah.
So that's why we have to be able to differentiate the two. So that's why I'm saying that this is important. So that's why I wanted you to focus on if mediation seems to be something that you like doing. So focus on that.
Okay.
Because the confusion, otherwise you're not giving them the right picture on the other side. You are just telling them that these processes exist. But now that you will find out the time frame, how much time does it take in courts and everything with the arbitration awards also challenging them, what the freak. So find out all that. And then tell
people
sure.
I have to indeed find out. Yes. Well, how long does it take? Yes. Let me put it somewhere. Yes. When they want to challenge, how long? Yes.
So now, because next time I want that T-shirt to say Mediation Center. That's what it has to say. If I can get that ADR removed from there.
You want the ADR to go?
Yes. There is no concept of ADR. What does it really mean? What does it mean? I mean, alternative, if you use it very nicely. What kind of alternative is it? How is arbitration? First of all, I keep saying, how is arbitration an alternative? It's the same thing. You're back into court again. There is
Yeah,
nothing.
arbitration is alternative because you select your own judge.
Yeah, that's it. But it's still, the process remains the same. It's just that, okay, I'm creating my little courtroom there and I have my own little judge there. Okay. So, but I let's hope that maybe one of these days you'll understand what I'm saying, because
Sure.
if we are not focused, nothing happens. I mean, really,
Okay. Yes, definitely
because
so.
even in ADR, I mean, there is, of course, there are lots of other ways of, not just arbitration and mediation. There are lots of other ways that people can
Yeah,
resolve
there are a lot
matters.
of mechanisms, yes.
Yeah. So those other mechanisms are not even discussed. So it's all
Yes,
the,
plenty, most of them like evaluative. Ombudsman is something that is really good, that will help especially with the public institutions, but it is not being discussed. There are a lot of things that have been left behind, and we are only concentrating. A lot of people focus on arbitration now. Mediation is also has come. Yeah, people are focusing now on mediation, but the
because
rest have been left. Yes.
the thing is that there is obviously money to be made from arbitration. Lawyers make their money, and lawyers definitely in some way get connected to dispute resolution. That's what I've been saying these days, that this whole colonization mindset, that courts and lawyers are connected with dispute resolution. No, they don't
Yes,
have to
and
be connected.
sometimes too, Vikram, it's not about it. Sometimes it's not even about the lawyers. As for a lawyer, yes, a lawyer is looking for their money and how they want to enjoy their life and all that. But it sometimes also has to depend on the people. The mindset of the people. Sometimes it's about, I'll show you in court. I want to deal with you in court. I'll meet you in court and all that. Those are the things that you also have to look at. Because as a lawyer, the only important thing is, yes, I'm a lawyer because I want to defend people and make money. That is the most important thing.
No,
But
look at
the
from
people, if somebody comes to a lawyer and say that, a lawyer, you are my lawyer, but I don't want to go to court, I need another method to resolve my dispute, then the lawyer will start thinking about looking for another method to help their client. But if the client is comfortable and satisfied with what they are getting from their lawyers, that is where the challenge is.
no,
Yes.
Isaac, we have to go a little bit into that mindset, that whole mindset that has been created, which is why I keep saying colonization, that
Yeah.
over these hundreds of years, people have been told that dispute resolution happens in courts, and
Yes.
lawyers
Even
are
even yes. Even in our schools, when all my training in the university and everywhere. So I met my boss and started knowing about ADL. I haven't heard about ADL before.
exactly.
Yes, I haven't heard about ADL before. And nowhere in the books or the things that they taught us will tell you about ADL. Maybe you may see maybe negotiation somewhere, but the rest you not see mediation, you not see even arbitration. And sometimes even if you see them, it is just a definition that you see. So these are the things that are not being taught, but you'll be made to understand that yes, the police is there. When somebody commits a crime, the police comes in, the person is taken to the court. So it's always about police, court, and
And lawyers
as I
and
mentioned
lawyers.
earlier, yes, lawyers will come and defend. Yes. So even the person as a mediator is not even recognized. And lawyers also wanted to take, like now, a mediator has to be a lawyer. We think that a mediator with a law background is something that will help the parties, but it is not like that.
Exactly.
Resolving conflict has nothing to do with law. Although if you have the legal understanding, it's good, but if you understand the parties and what they want, that is the most important thing when it comes to conflict resolution. It's about managing the conversation between the parties, but people don't understand. They think that lawyers are better, but lawyers are not better mediators. And I will always say this, they are not better mediators. They always bring the perspective of the law. They think in law, it should be this way, it should be that way. But that is actually not the case. Mediation is not about law. It's about the people and what they want. So that is what I think the mindset right from the training. That is why the teachers that we were discussing is very important. So that teachers teaching or bring a lot of perspective when it comes to the children, how to bring their mindset into all that is happening around. Because their curriculum, I'm not sure mediation is anywhere, because when we were there, we didn't see it. So the same way this case will not see it. So if the teachers have some kind of skills there, they will be able to
No,
inculcate that into.
but Isaac, what you still have to look at is that we are still saying as teachers, and we tell them that colonization mindset has been something that is so, that whole concept of courts and lawyers and that being the only way to resolve it is so entrenched that authority figure
Yes, very
deciding for you,
entrenched. Yes,
that
and they
part of
always
it.
feel, yes, in
No,
every situation, they feel that lawyers comes first.
no,
Lawyers this, lawyers
yeah,
that.
no, but
Yes.
that's not their fault. Like I said, for hundreds of years, if that is what has been pushed into society, that's the way disputes are resolved. So that whole concept of an authority figure taking the decision for you has got
Yeah.
entrenched. Now, again, with school children, there was this person from Nigeria. I was speaking to him, and his son came in, and I asked his son that if there is a fight between your friends, would you help your friends resolve it? Says, no, I won't do it because my teacher won't like it. That whole concept of that authority figure is really, really deeply entrenched. We have to, if we have to decolonize, we have to, okay, we children is obviously, it should be easier, but there now comes the situation with the teachers. Can the teachers leave them alone? We are telling
Yes.
them.
So yes. So this has really reminded me of something that happened when I was in JSS, when I think we were on break and we're sitting and chatting. And during that time, a fight broke out between two of our colleagues. Then we helped to separate them and resolve the matter. One teacher got to know and punish all of us. Why, when they were fighting, we did not come and report them?
Exactly.
So this is something that it is there. It is not new that there is always like authority figure. Somebody must decide for you what is better for you.
Exactly.
And that is why I said during our symposium that people have lost the sense of responsibility to settle. If you have the sense of responsibility to settle, then you know that when an issue happens, what do I do? How do I resolve this matter that will be peaceful and that will be cost effective and that will also save time for me? So these are the things, but not relying on the views and the things that somebody will tell you in order to be able to resolve that particular conflict or anything. So I think it works in both ways, both the authority figure and the people, the mindset that the people are also having. So colonization has really done a lot against everywhere in the parts of the world, especially in Africa. It played a lot of role when it comes to the way we even see foreign things. It is, if you even produce anything here, it is feel the foreign one is we feel that it's better than the one that has been produced locally. The same way when somebody is coming from outside to teach mediation, they think that that person have some kind of knowledge than even the person who understand the cultural background of the people and understand how things work even within the country. And these are the things you have to deal with all the time because of colonization. You are made to know that it is only the courts that can give you justice. But it is not the court that can give you justice, because if you are punishing somebody, at the end of the day, look at the criminal system. Until there is an introduction of victim offender mediation, somebody will commit an offense against somebody, and just the state, they said it's the state against the person. The person does not get any compensation during the criminal trial process. Your hospital bills, everything, you have to take care of it. And once the person has been sentenced and sent to prison, then the state is telling you that after the criminal process has ended, you can now take a civil actions against the person. How is this access to justice? How is this helpful to the people within the country? And these are the things that we must speak against and work to, because and now they have brought the victim offender mediation, which seeks to restore the victim, even if the other party will be punished, the victim is restored in a certain way, which is good and is helping a lot of people within the society as well.
So that's what I'm saying, Isaac. You have such nice thoughts. You understand the whole thing. Only thing is today, I can understand. Look, obviously, the commercial part is a commercial thing aspect. You also have your aspirations, whatever. I understand that. But I still believe one day I'll be able to make sure that Isaac concentrates and focuses only on promoting collaborative methods of dispute resolution, and he
Yeah,
is known around Ghana as the man who is wanting a peaceful society. He doesn't
sure.
talk about any adversarial method like litigation or arbitration. He doesn't talk
Yeah.
about it. He says
And
that is
that is one of the reasons why I don't want to be a lawyer. Yes, it's
yeah.
one
Oh
of the
yeah, no,
reasons
on
why.
the lawyer part of it, oh, look, again, you've heard me say it. I'm saying it here because someone else might listen to it. The fact that there is a law is because some people got together and said this is a fair way of going about it on something, and they had to be fair and reasonable and just and equitable, and the law came out. If the person, a mediator, is just and fair and reasonable and looks at things from that perspective, if the parties are also like that, that will be the law. They'll be what they'll be discussing will be the law. It won't be something different. They don't need a lawyer to come and tell them that, because it
Sure.
is that's the way it is supposed to be. If I'm doing something fair, law cannot be something which says no, you have to be unfair. No, a fair thing is a fair thing, and the law will support it. So that's why, and this whole thing of, I mean, lawyers being they're service providers. They'll come in when you need them. If you want an opinion on something, they'll give it to you. Same way with a
Sure.
project, say a dispute on a project, you'll bring in an architect when you want to. But an architect can also do mediation. The lawyer can also do mediation. We don't. I mean, it's not that there is any restriction that everyone should be able to do it. But I'm saying it's not that because a certain subject is a subject, there is a certain subject matter, so you have to have someone doing the mediation in that. We'll get the person in.
Yeah,
Don't.
yes, yes. But what I want to see is that the at a point somebody can also go to school and say that at the end of the day, I want to be a mediator. And that is what I want to see. That the institutions, the academic institution also be able to take it up and say that we are running a 4-year program degree in mediation. So that somebody will complete and we say that this person is a mediator.
And
And that is what I
I'm
also
on
want to see.
I'm on the other side. I am saying people should come, stand up, and say, "I am a mediator." Or I don't want to be. I am a mediator. In
I
school,
want
they
to
should.
be
No, I want. I am a mediator. I want to mediate. I
yes,
want to mediate.
I am a mediator will come after somebody have said that I want to be a mediator, and
No,
that is
and
what I want
no,
to,
and people
because
will say people.
somebody watching me now maybe is a younger boy, a younger person, a younger girl who is somewhere doesn't know who a mediator is, and after maybe listening to you or me or whoever is a mediator will say that okay, I want to become like this person, because as we were growing up, when we asked you what do you want to do in future, we are able to say bank manager, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. But how many people will mention a mediator? That is where I'm coming from, Vikram.
No, Isaac, the thing is different in this case. People will say normal course. People are asked, "What do you want to be?" and they say, "I want to be whatever you said." In this
Yeah,
case, people will say, "You are a mediator. You should
yeah,
practice as a mediator." That is what, because the whole activity is such that people see you as that. The family will
yeah,
see you, your community will see you. They are the
yeah,
ones who have to tell you. They have to
yeah,
tell you, and they have to tell the community that this person is the mediator in our community. You don't have to
yeah.
say anything. You will say, "I'm a mediator," because the community says I'm a mediator. No one
Yeah,
else, no, there is no one else that needs to say it. Neither you or you, some qualification, nothing. People will
yeah.
say it because people know that. And that's,
Yeah, that is also there. The naturally born mediator, that
yeah.
is there. But also, I'm also looking at the way whereby we can have somebody saying that I want to be trained as a mediator.
Oh, don't,
Seeing this.
no, they should, I keep saying, trained. It is a natural skill. What training
Yeah,
can
it's
you
a
do?
natural skill. Yes, I understand, but it's a natural skill that must be developed. If you can have the natural abilities, but somebody you may see somebody, you may look at somebody and say that, okay, I want to become like this person. And that is what I'm talking about. Not because it's not a natural ability.
Oh, I'll tell you, Isaac, what you'll see when I'm telling you this, when you are going to speak to these teachers, and we will tell the teachers that in your school, identify those people, those students, and ask the students. You don't even have to do it. Just ask the two students. When you see those names coming out of those children, you will speak to the children and you will speak to the other children who feel that these people are the ones they can trust. When you hear them out, you will see that everything they know, they are
Okay.
doing the process. You
Yeah.
will see that. I will show it to you. I will
Yeah.
take you step by step. And when we talk to these teachers, and stage 2, stage 3, we'll go through that. In front of you, you will see the entire thing is right there. All these people are out there. The only thing is we have to give them the space to do what they can do. But that space, no one wants to give them. Teachers don't want to give space to children, like we just said, to let them resolve the dispute within themselves. If they do not give them that space, how are they going to be able to practice that one skill that they have? How are they going to use it? Because you are not giving them the whole space, that atmosphere you're not creating. So for us, the important thing is to be able to explain to the teachers that you create that atmosphere. You don't have to do anything. The children will do everything themselves. But are you willing to give up that control that you want? That's the biggest thing. Same thing with communities. Your community leaders, or in their tribe, the heads of the tribes and all, they want the control. So what do you think, Abe? Let's ask
Yes,
Abe because
I perfectly agree with what you are saying. That it shouldn't be about the what I was saying, that somebody
you
want
were
to
on the
be.
phone. You don't even know what I said. You were on the phone.
No,
Let
no,
me
I was not
let me
on
say
the
it
phone. I
again.
wanted to. No, I
Let,
wanted to check the other line if it is still active. Yes.
let-
So I was not on the phone making a call, but I heard what you said, whereby you said the teachers have to ask the student to identify the people among them, and they themselves will identify their mates who are making impact within them and resolving matters for them. So those people
no,
can be trained and
what
coached.
I said, Isaac, was that are these teachers or the principal of
Yeah.
the school, are they willing to give up that control, that the students within themselves can resolve their fights? Are they willing to do that? Because that is the important step. Once that atmosphere is given to
Yes,
them,
if you ask such a question, I won't be able to tell you, but it's a matter of sensitizing the teachers to let them know that yes, it is important to give that control to the children themselves, so that it is not every matter that has to come to the teachers for
exactly,
resolution. The
exactly.
children are capable of managing their differences, but when it comes to the difficult ones, then it comes to the teachers. It's like mediation is there, but the core system will not be eliminated. If somebody can come to mediation and agree on certain things, but when they go home, they can be doing otherwise. The court is there to remind them that you made this agreement, so the enforcement can be done against you. The same way, the teachers are there as the appendage, so that when the student resolve their matters and things are not happening, then it can come to the teachers. So I think that can also be discussed with the
Yeah,
teachers to
yeah. So
understand
it'll
all.
be okay. It'll be step by step. First of all, let's speak to the teachers. Let's
Yeah,
tell them that, look, create this atmosphere. Then in
sure.
your communities, create that atmosphere. It's the same thing. Look, it's the same thing being duplicated. Here the
Yeah,
atmosphere is created for the children. There you are creating the atmosphere in a community where obviously you have to, it's a conversation. Look, this is
yeah,
something which you need to do. I would have shown you, because there is here I have my own community where I live, and I'll show it to you. Maybe I'll take a picture and I'll show it to you. I actually, this is what I told them, that just identify those people and tell people about a collaborative method of resolving disputes, and
okay,
then let them do it themselves. We don't need to do anything. They will, but first is that just that conversation changes things. That why don't you do this? So that
okay,
conversation is not happening, because
right,
who's going to have that conversation? For
yeah,
disputes and resolving disputes through the court system, there are lawyers sitting there to have that conversation with you. Come, I'll take you to take this to court and whatever, because they are
yeah,
actually making that their money out of that. So they're willing to have that conversation with you. But what about the people who actually want you to resolve your dispute in a collaborative manner, who's going to have that conversation?
Yeah.
Who is that person? So those people have to be brought out, and that's why I'm saying these teachers are important. They are going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then, but that's not good enough. Just a conversation, not good enough. What about, okay, yes, we want to use a collaborative method. Where is that person whom we can use?
Well,
If
yes,
the
and where
person,
do we
if
go?
the right person is not there, that user experience will be bad. Then the whole process falls. So that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
it has to go first. Identify those with the mediator mindset in the communities and in the school, and then pushing the concept that this is a very good way of resolving disputes, and this person is available in your community or in your school who can do it. Because if that person is not there, just by saying this, resolve the dispute within yourselves and pick up anyone, oh, this person will be your mediator. It doesn't work that way. It has to be someone with that skill, that natural ability. I'm still saying natural ability, and there is so much more which goes around it, and you've heard me say it so many times, so I'm repeating myself. But heart, soul, and spirituality, I will keep saying that. That is something which comes from within, and those are very important parts of that whole process. And you can't just say everyone is going to be able to do it for you, who has everything, all those things. So it's something that we have to, step by step. That's what I'm saying. First step, let's bring these peacemakers together, which is the teachers. Then tell them to identify those children and people in the communities with the mediator mindset. Then we'll tell people about the collaborative method of resolving disputes.
Sure.
Then these teachers will put these people together. And when we see those results, then those little video clips that you will make and then circulate it within the communities, that look, this happened. These people had a very good experience. They've spoken about their experience. That will circulate. And then those videos should go viral. And those people who are those people with the mediator mindset, they get valued in society. Look, they're doing such good things. And then the process takes off. So step by step, step by step.
Sure.
But now what we need to do is first, let's just go through the February schedule, what all has happened. That's important. This is important. Okay. In Conversation with Beautiful Mind, Olga. Then we had this lecture. Abe, I'm showing it to you also because these days you've missed out on what's been happening. So all these are recorded, lying on the YouTube channel. All the links are available on mediatorvikram.com. Please. So this is heart, soul, and spirituality. Now you'll see a lot of discussions on this as I go along.
Okay.
Gabriela,
Is
very
she
interesting.
from 2 countries?
Hmm?
Is she from 2 countries?
Yeah. Basically, her family
Okay.
was from Lebanon. So, I mean, now Lebanon gave her a citizenship also because of that family connection. But she's basically based in Brazil. But very interesting person. We've had such interesting conversations. We've already done one under the mediator experiences, 2 under in Conversation with the Beautiful Mind, this one under heart, soul, and spirituality. And we're having one next month also. I think 3rd of next month.
I'll check it out.
Constantia, I have to always keep telling you that this is someone who said that she wants to practice as a full-time mediator in her lifetime. We have to create. I'm creating all this so that Constantia can practice as a full-time mediator. That is what my goal is, my target. So this was interesting. Vidya Jain wasn't there. Okay, this is something I'll have to change.
I watched this online.
So this is now, I'm doing this again on the 23rd of March. And all of you, please come in for that discussion if you want to. I'm sure there'll be some inputs you can give. So that's again at 7:30 India time on 23rd. Helena, very interesting conversation we had. Of course, Russian, there were people translating.
Yes, I watched it. It was really an interesting one. Yeah.
Victor Baba also, such a nice person. You've watched, did you see that, Victor Baba's session?
Yeah, I followed you and Victor. Yes.
Yes.
It was a beautiful conversation.
Helena's conversation also very nice. All of them are such nice conversations. Helena also a wonderful person, doing wonderful work. This one, we don't know. This guy is, I don't know, he's sometimes talks about fighting with each other. Sometimes they collaborate with each other. We are confused. What does he want us to do? He's saying, you want to buy a gun, I'll give you a gun. You want a missile, I'll give you a missile. Anything, I have everything for you. Just come, just train under me. That's all. I'll train you to use all those things. Okay, this should be very interesting. Abe, you must listen to this conversation because it will be but this
Yeah.
thought their thought on this about neutrality trap,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Okay.
I, this
Is that
conversation, very
is
interesting
that
book.
Kin's book?
No, no, this is Bernie Mayer. He's been on
Okay.
Evolution of a Mediator also. We've done 2 episodes on
Hmm.
that. But their thoughts are, I mean, it's an interesting thought in terms of social change. Danny Weinstein has already been there last month, and again, it was a wonderful discussion. And then last day of the month, and that's about it. That's how it is,
Okay.
Hmm.
right? So, if
Yeah.
any suggestions, any advice for Isaac?
I think you just think as a mediator, behave like a mediator, act like a mediator.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
and
Yeah.
something, I want to say something for people who are watching. We have someone from Thailand, from Bangladesh, from Brazil. So, anything for them? Anything?
Okay. I want to thank them for watching me, and I want to thank them so much. And I also want to thank my brother. He's the one who brought me to Accra, that I got to know of mediation. Then my boss, Mr. Alex Nate, he's the National ADR Coordinator for Judicial Service of Ghana. He has played a major role in my development as an ADR practitioner. He, in fact, discovered me and made me who am I today. So I'm really grateful for his support and what he has done for me. And my regards to all members of Ghana National Association of ADR practitioners and all the people that we have trained at IPLS Ghana. We are always available to assist them and to make mediation available to everybody within the country. We want everybody to experience, have a feel, if nothing at all, they should feel mediation in every corner, in every part of Ghana. And that is my hope, that every community should be able to at least have a community mediation center with volunteers that will be there to assist them. And that has been our focus at the Institute, to train people so that in their jurisdiction, they can establish a mediation center within their jurisdiction. Some of them have been able to do it, and they are running it. We hope that others will also take that steps and be able to establish themselves as that. That is what I want to see, that mediation comes across everywhere within the country, and people will think of ADR or mediation first when it comes to dispute resolution within the country of Ghana. And then also encourage the government to establish the National ADR Center, which will also set standards for the practice and also regulate the practice of ADR, so that people will understand what is happening. The communities will also know mediation as they know the court system. Because when there is a national centers across district and other thing, they know that yes, you can send your matter here and it can be resolved. That one will also help in developing the system as well. And Vikram, thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It has been truly a wonderful journey. Meeting you last year, I think um, I met you in 2021. Yes, it's been an amazing journey with you. I'm so grateful for your endless support. And Mediator Abby, thank you for coming in and support with your support. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So basically, Isaac, okay, obviously, thank you very much for obviously you giving us time. This was so nice of you to come in. But important thing in all this mediation center and everything is the right people have to be doing the mediation. Everything
Yeah.
depends on that.
Yeah.
That's has to be our focus. All these regulating it, accreditations, and all that will have no relevance. It has not had relevance anywhere in the world.
But I have one principle. One thing is, once whether or not the right people are doing it, once there is mediation, people are doing it, it will get to a point the market itself will filter out those who are good and those who are bad. That is my principle.
No, I think it's,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually look at it from this perspective that there are
Yeah.
vested interests who do not want mediation to develop. Now,
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah.
yes, and on the other end, you have not too many mediations happening. So, if you have one bad experience now, and you don't have, in terms of numbers, you don't have, so you have 10, say
Yeah.
10 matters, And in that 10 matters, just one bad experience happens. That person is going to
Yeah.
tell 100 people. But on the other
Sure.
end, they're
More
only
than that. Yeah.
on the other end, there are not so many people who have had experiences with mediation, so they don't have anything to say positive. Because
Yeah.
they've never experienced it. So they will never, that positive part will never come out. The negative part will spread. So if that one bad user experience also we can't afford to have. So that's why the right people have to be there. If the thing has to take off the way it has to take off, we have to be very careful on that. So and for me, all these other qualifications and everything don't come into the play. If the right people are the right people, they will do
Sure.
what they have to do. So thank you,
Sure.
Abe. Abe, thank you very much for coming in
Thank
also.
you. Thank you. Isaac,
Thank you.
let's keep in touch. I'll have something to talk to you about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then you can say only Judge Halim
Thank
and
you.
Anna is there. So thank you, Judge Halim, Anna, for watching it. Other people, of course, not there.
Thank you.
Yuktanand is there from Thailand. So thank you very much for everyone who's watching, and I'll see you then.
Okay.